Welcome to Villamania YouTube channel. Thank you very much for leaving us the comments on our YouTube and thanks for liking our tutorials. Today we're going to create a small beaded charm in the shape of the heart because you asked us to create more tutorials for something you can craft for St. Valentine's Day. This small charm can be used to create, I don't know, a pair of earrings, for example, a pendant or something else out of your creativity. So let's have a look into how to do that. As always, the pattern for making this beaded charm is available in the description section. And as always, our patterns have a lot of details explaining to you every junction, every step, every knot you have to do with your thread or needle. Please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell to get the notifications, and of course, keep leaving us your comments because they motivate us to create new tutorials. Let's have a look at which materials we're going to need. So we will need Miyuki Delica 11 size. For this tutorial, I'm using this coral color 873. However, as you can see on the screen, you can create hearts from different colors of the beads. We will need Miyuki thread. I will use this light pink Miyuki thread, a pair of scissors, and the beading needle size 11. If you are new to peyote stitching, I recommend you to check out our another tutorial on the channel where I explain in a lot of details on how to start your peyote work. So we will start our heart with rows 3 and 4. In these two rows, we have 9 beads all together. So what we need to do is the first step to put our stop bead on the thread and put all the 9 beads at the same time onto our needle, like I'm doing on the video, and then pull them through until they reach the stop bead. Now we're going to peyote our row number 5. In this row we have 5 beads. 5 is important here because this row is having an odd number of beads, so we'll have to do some trick in the end of this row. As always in peyote, what you do, you pick up one new bead, you skip one bead, and you put the needle through the next bead you have. So once again, pick up one bead, skip one, and put your needle through the next one in line. Here is our peyote brick wall starting to shape. We pick up one more bead, skip one, put the needle through the next one. And because this row has an odd number of beads, 5, we'll have to do a little trick here. So we skip one and then we put our needle through 2 beads which are left on our thread, 2 at the same time, like this. Pull your stop bead a little bit closer to your work for it to be stable. And now we'll add the last odd bead to this row. To do this, you pick up this bead, bead number 5, and you go backwards diagonally, sort of from right to left into 2 beads at the same time. So your thread goes out of this bead. And now you need to return your thread to the needed position. So you go again to the beginning of your work through 3 beads at the same time, pull in your thread, and now you need to exit to the position. So you go back through this bead, which we just added to this row, like this. You can see your thread goes out of your 5th bead. As always in our tutorials, let me show you how what we've done is looking on a schematic drawing. So we came from here, we added bead number 3, bead number 4. Then we exited through the very first bead we added to our work. We turned around, we add the bead number 5. We put our needle through this bead, through the center bead. Then we went to the first row. We returned to the bead number 4, then to the middle bead again, then again to the very first bead of our work, turned around and exited through the bead number 5. So we sort of made this infinity sign with our thread. Now we move to row number 6. In this row, we are going to have 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a common peyote row. So you just pick up one bead and place it in between 2 standing out beads, sort of to fill the empty space with your beads. So we put 2, 3, and 1 more for this row. Now we move to row number 7. In this row, we again have odd number of beads, so 5 beads we need to put. So as you're already learning, we put 4 beads as usually, placing the beads into the empty spots. 1, 2, 3. And when we add the 4th bead, we go at the same time through the last 2 beads which we have left in this row, because we need to add the 5th one. Let's add the 5th bead. So we pick it up, and as in previous step, we go backwards diagonally from right to left through 2 beads, like this. We pull our thread, and now we need to return to the needed position. So we go backwards diagonally through 3 beads at the same time, like you can see on the screen. And now we need to go through this last 5th bead which we added to the row. So we are in the right position to continue. So now our thread is in the right position and we have 4 spots to fill with beads. So let's do it. In row number 8, we have 4 beads. And then we will start decreasing our heart in the end of this row. So we pick up 1 and fill the blank spot between the beads. Bead number 2, 3, and 4. And after that, we will start decreasing our heart. We need to make sure that in the next row, we only have 3 blank spots left for the beads. So we need to make a decrease. In order to do this, we go backwards through 2 beads diagonally, in this case from left to right, like this. Now we return through 1 upper bead in that direction, sort of going forward, just through 1 neighboring bead, like this. And now we need to put our thread to the right position, so we exit with our needle into the top standing out bead, like this. So now, as you can see, we only have 3 spots left for the next row. So 1, 2, and 3 blank spots to be filled. Let's have a look how decrease operation looks on the schematic drawing. So we came all the way from here, we exited as usual. Then we returned with our thread to the neighboring bead, went diagonally from left to right, returned to the neighboring one, and then turned around and exited from the last bead we added on the row. Now we have 3 blank spots to fill. So in our next row, number 9, we're going to have 3 beads and 1 more decrease. So we do 1, 2, 3. And now we need to decrease 1 more time for the next row to have only 2 beads. So we go backwards diagonally into 2 beads, sort of backwards to our work where we've started. Now we return through 1 neighboring bead. And now we exit into the top standing out bead, like this. And now, as you can see, we have only 2 spots left to be filled. Of course, in row number 10, we only have 2 beads to be added and do 1 more decrease. And then add our last bead of this part of the heart. So we do 2 beads, 1, 2, and now we need to make another decrease. So as in previous steps, we go 2 beads diagonally backwards to the beginning of our work, sort of to the top of the heart. Now we return through 1 neighboring bead and exit at the very top of the heart. Now we have 1 empty spot to be filled in this part of the heart. In row 11, we have only one bead, but starting from here, we need to return to the top of our work to finish sort of the upper part of the heart. That's why we pick up one bead, and you see on the video, we go with the needle through all the 4 bottom beads of our heart. Now we'll need to thread for a few beads to return to the upper part of the heart. Again, I recommend you to refer to the pattern, because in the pattern you have a very detailed step-by-step numbered description of what you need to do with your thread. But of course, I'll show you on the video as well. So we go backwards into 2 beads, 2 neighboring beads back. Now we turn our work. I do that for the convenience. Now I go with my needle through the neighboring bead, like this. Now I go with my needle through the middle bead at the edge of the heart. And now I return my needle to the right bead at the edge of the heart, like this. So now I'm standing in the row where I have 4 spots to be filled with the beads. And again, you can see all those steps numbered on the pattern, so please download it for your convenience. Now we will make the row number 2. In this row we have 4 beads, and we'll need to do one more last decrease for this work. So we put 1 into the empty spot between the beads, 2, 3, 4, and we'll make another decrease now. So our last decrease. As always, we go through 2 beads diagonally back, like this. Then we return through 1 neighboring bead. And we exit into the top bead of the top row. So our thread goes out in the right place. In our final row 1, we have 2 beads to be added. So 1 and 2, but we have actually 3 empty spaces left on our row. So let me show you how to do that. So we'll add 1 bead as normal, filling in the space. And then the space in the middle, we need to leave blank. So we'll move our needle through 2 diagonal beads without adding a bead in the middle. And now we are adding our last bead of the heart to the last empty space we left. Here it is. I hope you like this small charm. Let me show you a few examples of what you can create now with those. So as you can see, I've already beaded a few hearts with different colors. First example is this pair of dangle earrings, which has 5 hearts of different shades of red and pink, all stitched together into the line sort of shape. It's nice, it's very light, and it's also multicolored, so I hope you like this design and you can make this one. Another example is this dangle earring, for which I used 2 pink agate stones and 1 small charm in the shape of the heart, made in the color matching the color of the stone. Again, just the dangle earring. It's light, sort of jolly. And the final example I'm going to show you is the one I like the most. For this one, I used coral chips. And I made the heart in this coral Miyuki color, so it also matches with the color of the coral stones. It's also nice. It's asymmetric, which I like in my designs. So here are a few examples. Of course, now with this small heart charms, you can create whatever you want. It can be a pendant, an earring, or just a simple charm on the key holder. So it's all up to your creativity. Thank you very much for watching us. Of course, please put a like, leave us a comment for which other pieces of jewelry you want us to create tutorials. I wish you a happy, lovely St. Valentine's Day and, of course, a happy crafting. Thank you.